just curious, like, once it hits the ground, like, what are the teaching points there? Do you hope he can catch it to grab it off the bounce?
Yeah, so uh, Evans mishit the ball, was a short kick, came off the foot a little bit funky. Ideally, we would have loved to have fielded that thing in the air because we had space to go, and unfortunately we didn't. And then, coaching point on playing the bounce is ideally you'd like to be about 8 yards from the ball and square, like head up on it. And then if it kicks right to you, then be able to field it. Otherwise, he said it was spinning in a funky direction. And it kind of was. You could see it on the replay. But yeah, after that, get away from the ball because you don't want anybody to have any contact that you don't want. So unfortunately, we did not field the ball. I wish we would have been able to.
How much improvement have you seen out of the punt return game since James has taken over the last couple of weeks?
I think it's been good. I think our interior's done a good job. I thought we're playing pretty well on the perimeter. Have not had any penalties in recent weeks, which is a positive thing. So we'll keep emphasizing that. But he's done a good job of getting downhill and getting what he can get. And I think we averaged like 15 a return last week, which was good. Just missed that opportunity, which we would have loved to have had. We probably get at least 15 on that return, maybe more, and then now we get drive start on the 1, 2, whatever it was. So that was unfortunate for us.
Bubba, we've talked about your emphasis on not getting those holding or blocking in the back penalties. Yeah. But I mean, all special teams coaches want that. What is your secret to such a minimum number that you've had this year?
No, I don't think there's any secret to it. I think it's the emphasis that you put on it, each week, and then trying to educate our players on how the game is being officiated, and then support that with clips from throughout the league where other teams are making fouls, and then you can kind of like understand how those calls are being made. So, I think our guys have a good understanding on how we need to play and how we need to play clean.
The number of penalties you've had on those returns?
On the return game, I don't.
What kind of impact has he been able to bring your team?
Mike Ford. He brings a lot of energy. He brings a lot of speed, toughness. He's the kind of guy you want to be able to coach and to, impact your unit. Our guys gravitate towards Mike. He works hard week in and week out, puts a lot into it, prepares well. So he's done a nice job for us. Been a good spark.
How has he grown this season, just in that learning and grown more comfortable in that role?
Who's that?
Mike, sorry. Grow it this season.
Yeah, I think he's done a nice job. He's a guy that I've always liked watching on crossover tape. Have never really had the chance to go against him consistently, not being in like the same division or anything like that. But he's done a really good job for us. I think he's improved for sure as the season's gone along, and he's a guy that we look at to give us some energy to that unit. He's an infectious player, and I enjoy coaching him.
Along those lines, I mean, how important are those core kind of guys who have that energy when you're a new coordinator on this team and trying to establish things, and how helpful is he with just that intangible stuff?
Yeah, I think that when we first started, it took a little bit longer to get that, the camaraderie amongst our group, and now I feel like we have, I would say, good continuity within the unit. You have Matt Adams, Mike Ford, Jordan Kanashik, Tony Fields, all those guys, Pierre Strong, all those guys have done a really good job and complement each other well. I think we're doing a good job of playing complementary to each other within the unit, and everybody feeding off of each other and playing team football. So I think that's been good for our unit.
What stands out to you about this Jacksonville special teams unit?
They're a good unit. I've gone against this team for the last 5 years, being in Indy in that same division. I've gone against their coordinator, both as a player and as a coach. Heath does a nice job with them. I think they're a tough group. they've got some instinctive players, and 42 Wingard, 57 Johnson. Both those guys are really good players. They have good specialists. Brandon McManus is a veteran kicker who's been in the league for a long time in Denver. And then I think their punter is one of the best in the league. I think he's super talented. Cook, number 9, he's very, very impactful player for them. So I think that he does a really good job for them.
But with the weather, who knows what it's going to be Sunday, right? It might be windy and rainy, but we're in December, so it could be whatever.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get here.
Do you have any different message for your guys? Do you have any different, I guess, coaching points when it could be an issue for the first time?
No, I mean, we've played in some weather games this year. And, you know, the opener against Cincinnati, we had rain in that game, so our guys will be ready to go.
I know things happen, obviously, in game, but did Dustin come talk to you at all, or like you guys have conversations after the missed extra?
Yeah, the missed PAT. We need to convert. We really do. We need to do a better job of really just focusing on making that kick and doing everything we can to have the best mechanics, the best finish. Can't miss that opportunity. We needed to be able to convert there. That hurt our team, and yeah, it was unfortunate.
Is there any commonalities with what he, on that kick and the one he missed in Baltimore, in terms of what he did on those kicks?
I don't think so. I think, you know, every play, every kick is different. We're playing in a controlled environment inside where there's really not a lot of – I mean, there is open air in that stadium, but it's not anything that would affect anything like that. I think we just got to do a better job of finishing on the kick and really focusing on our mechanics. Thanks, yep.
We talked to you last week. You said Joe obviously has a lot left in the tank.
Right.
So after he played Sunday, what impressed you most about able to take that to the game on Sunday?
Yeah, I'd say probably the 3rd and 14 throw to Amari. That was very impressive. That caught itself, really. And that's just a lot of throws he made. You know, you see it. You know, obviously he can stretch the field for sure. So real impressive for a guy to come off, you know, without an off season or anything really, and step in and be productive. So proud of him.
You mentioned him being able to stretch the field. He thought that finally showed, or that showed up in the run game in the second half. Like, do you think that's something that will carry forward, that his ability to hit all parts opens things up for the run game?
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely will. It all plays together, obviously. You know, a little different style of QB than we've had, but that we're used to that, so we can always adjust and adapt, and always going to play to our guys' strengths, whoever's in there.
He's taken a hit, absorbed a blow, you know, been out there with his teammates, had the pads on again. How much better do you think he'll be this week if he gets this
Oh, a
start?
ton. I mean, there were a handful of plays in that game where, you know, if he'd been here through training camp and knew all the adjustments and rules that, you know, we weren't on the same page oftentimes, not often, a few times where a week better of just understanding the system will clean that up.
We saw him kind of, he was peeking at his wristband a couple times, even over under center. Is he just getting like the last little details on pass routes, or what's on there that's?
I mean, play calling's always is difficult, you know, especially when you're just getting thrown into the mix like he is. So, you know, it's just you know, the wristband is kind of like a security blanket just in case. You know, he does a great job of learning the play calls each week, and that's just in case you need it. So we'll call the play to him and say, hey, by the way, it's wristband. So a lot of times you'll see quarterbacks just refer to it, make sure they're calling it correctly. When you get to the line of scrimmage, you're just, oh, shoot, what was it again? Kind of confirming it, and that's where we are right now.
I mean, yesterday, like a lot of that play action looked really good with him. Is that just because he's got all those little subtleties down so well? I mean, does his size lend to that as well?
Yeah, I mean, that's how he grew up, under center, you know, running the ball and play action. So all the ball handling he's very familiar with. That's something we definitely put a point of emphasis on, is making him look as much like the run as possible.
There were a couple drop passes in that game in L.A. What do you think the common thread to that is? Because you've been, not you, but the team's been dropping more than any time since you've been here.
Yeah, again, I don't think it's anything that we've done differently. You know, to be honest with you, you kind of go through these streaks at times. I mean, we work fundamentals of catching every day, so it's nothing that we've not, like, all of a sudden stopped catching the ball at practice like we do it daily. So, you know, sometimes it's just, oh, man, I got the drops right now. It's like my driver, you know. oftentimes it's left, and then all of a sudden it's right. So we just got to correct it and not worry about it as much as just getting, hey, just catch the ball, and we will.
It has anything to do with guys getting used to a different quarterback all the time?
I don't think so. I don't. I don't think there's a huge difference of velocity from each guy. There's some difference, yeah. But that hasn't seemed to be the issue. Whatever quarterback in the last few days or few weeks, we've dropped the ball, so we got to handle the ball better.
I know that you probably want to leave this in Kevin's hands, but just to get it on the record, I mean, can you announce yet or say anything about whether or not Joe will start?
Yeah, we're still working through all that, Mary Kay. We still have to get Dorian all the way through the process right now. So until he officially clears, there's no real decisions to be made.
You guys, I know you can't control the injury situation week to week, but this has been an ongoing challenge for you guys this year. When you're going through these weeks not knowing who your starter is going to be, is that as big of a deal for you guys as maybe outside the building sometimes it gets made out to be?
It's a big deal. Again, it's our jobs as coaches, again, to put a plan together, to put whoever that player is in the best situation for success for him and for us. So, again, it's honestly, after going through the COVID years and all that, this is it's part of the deal now. Adjust and adapt, and it's a bottom line business. We got to find a way to win games, regardless of who's out there.
I just want to clarify. So is Dorian still in the protocol right now?
I do have to talk to those guys. As I know, I think there's one more box to check before it's all go. But I'm not 100% sure. I have to check with those guys.
You were a backup quarterback. You understand the value of them as well as anyone. Has this season, because of all these injuries, changed the way you think teams are going to value backup quarterbacks going forward?
It can. It's organizational. I mean, how you to deal with those positions. It's money based a lot of the times. But that's an important role as an ex-backup. I would like to like the running backs are trying to get let's go with the backup quarterbacks. But it's important to have one. We've had some good success with the guys we put in those positions. But yeah, I mean it's always again like another security blanket. But again, the guys have stepped in. PJ won 2 games for us. Dorian won a game for us. Joe's going to win a game for us eventually down the road. So feel good about how we've gotten these guys prepared to play, regardless of who's in.
Does Elijah getting 12 targets, does that speak to their relationship, just game flow, all the above?
Yeah, a little bit of the above. I think the injury to Amari obviously put him into that spot, which is going to get the targets, and I think the familiarity between those two only helps.
If there is a decision to be made between Joe and Dorian this week, is it kind of difficult to evaluate Dorian if he is still in the protocol and is a little bit limited? Do you feel like you're getting a clear picture of how he's working back into things?
Yeah, I mean, we're working him back in now. And again, that'll come down to a later in the week decision. Yeah, sure it does. It does add a layer to it. But, again, we have to wait to see the final, end of the week results to see what we can do.
If Dorian does clear, is there something in his game that would make you think he would give you a better chance to win than with Joe?
Right now, again, it's not a decision to be made at this point. I think both guys give us a chance to win. I feel confident in both guys. I really do. Different players, but definitely I think both can give us a chance to win. Again, that'll be a decision made later in the week.
What are your thoughts on a little bit of, platooning or package of plays for Dorian if he's cleared?
Yeah, again, I mean, that's always a possibility if he makes it. Again, we're going to try to find, as we do every week, try to find a way to win one game this week. And if that's using all the roster availability that we had, then we could find a place for that.
With all the drop passes and the injury to Amari, is there any chance of Austin Watkins getting some play time?
That's something we'd have to discuss. He's definitely, from his preseason work, shows that he can make plays in the league for us. Not exactly sure of the availability of those guys, but he is definitely an option.
Without Amari, if he doesn't play, how do you handle it? He's such a big part of what you guys do. Who needs to fill that void?
Yeah, everybody, really. It's big shoes again. Everybody's going to have to step up. David Bell's going to have to step up and make plays. He does every week. He's Mr. Consistent. You ask Dave to do a job, he does it, and he catches the ball. I mean, he's just, you feel really good about him taking some of those reps. Elijah will play more in that position at times. And then he continues to grow and come on. So those are the 3 main targets. And then our tight ends will have to take some of that weight as well. So we'll have to spread the ball around. But we did a good job of that last week. I think we had 9 receivers. So, that's something that we feel good about. We're definitely going to have to find multiple people to fill that role.
Did you also see David Njoku become more targeted in that?
Absolutely. Each week you go into it, you think about the players and not the plays, and David's top on that list.
Harrison caught a touchdown for you last week. Just where's his game at right now?
Yeah, Harry's a really smart player, headsy, always in the right spot, always doing the right thing. It's good to see him have success and catch a touchdown pass. I mean, he's a really good route runner. He gives you everything he's got in the run game. He's physical. Some of the kick-out blocks he's doing right now for us, that's a physical block. So, again, just trying to find skill sets, or use our guys' skill sets in the best position to put them in on game day. But I'm glad to see him get in the end zone. That was good.
Protocol, and will he practice today?
I'm not sure where he is. I think he still is. I'm not 100% sure, Mary Kay. I know that there's still more hurdles. It's different now than it used to be. But, yeah, he's got to check some more boxes, I believe.
Thank you.
When you started prepping for the Jaguars, what stands out about their defense that are the biggest challenges for you guys?
Yeah, solid group. I mean, obviously they're ranked highly in DVOA, so it's a really good defense. They're really good against the run, so great challenge for us. The edge rushers are special too, so having ability to make sure we're taking care of those edges is a big part of it. But really skilled defense plays a lot of defense, a lot of different looks. So the communication's important for us and how we ID things. But really impressive to watch those guys work. They do a nice job. Caldwell's been in the league a long time. I've followed his career. I want to say we came out around the same time. So I've always followed his career. He does a great job. He's been around some great coaches, and it shows their scheme is good. Their pressure package is really good as well. So big challenge.
Yeah, there's a number of games this season they've kept teams to under 100 rushing yards. So when you look at their run defense, I guess for you guys as you look at how to balance the run game and the pass game, what is the biggest challenge in that?
For us, for the run game, for us, we got to stay in positive plays. We had a couple TFLs last week that kind of scared us a little bit in the run game and really didn't get it cranking until the second half. So for us, it's coming out and being efficient on first and second down in the run game.
If the decision ultimately is Dorian this week, obviously he can't be on the practice field while he's in protocol, but can you give us an idea of what he is able to do to prep for a game while he's in the protocol?
Sure. He's in practice now for us. So that there's different levels of that protocol. So right now he's available for work, so he's getting work out on the field, getting reps, and again, he's just whatever he has to do at the end of the week to get a green light. We'll see, but that's what he's doing. He's not off the field right now. He's with us. All righty, thanks guys.